Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A lot of different ways to ask this question, but the bottom line is, what does success look like in Iran? Basically, what are the objectives that we are trying to achieve, and what does it look like when we go, okay, we've achieved our objectives, success, we're done, we're out?
Thank you, Mr. Smith. We're thinking a lot about this. I would say I can give you the perspective from the Department of War, which represents the direction that the President has given for the military campaign, which is specifically focused on degrading and destroying the power projection, particularly the conventional power projection capabilities of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and thus especially missile one-way attack drones capabilities and their production, as well as the naval forces of the Islamic Republic.
How destroyed does it have to?
Well, I think that's. I mean, we're going to seek to do the best we can. I think we're on plan, as Admiral Cooper has said. I think that can nest with a variety of political outcomes, as the President referred to the other day. The Venezuela
Two parts
model.
to that. I keep hearing that we're on plan, and I keep asking, and this is oversimplification, but I don't know, they had 10,000 missiles, now they have 8,000. And I keep getting told, yeah, we don't really have those specific information yet. So how do we know that we're on plan if we can't
Well, we don't want to repeat, these mistakes of McNamara and a false kind of numeracy to it, but I would say that, we are looking at the strategic level. And I know some of the both civilian and uniform representatives will be briefing you in classified session later today. So obviously those numbers are important, but we're looking more at a strategic level at degrading the capabilities of the Islamic Republic, not only fielded forces, but the production capabilities.
The lack of specifics on that are troubling in terms of how long this is going to last. And then the second piece of it is what you alluded to, which is, okay, so we've done this before. I mean, we did it a year ago. Israel did it over the course of 2 years and significantly degraded Iran at a much lower cost in terms of the regional war. But when that's done, if the Islamic Republic is still there, they will simply rebuild. So what is the objective to prevent that from happening?
I don't think that's a given at all.
Well, it's not a given, but what's the objective?
No, I think
How
it's
do we get to the
precisely
point where
to
it doesn't
avoid the
happen?
Islam. I mean, as Secretary Hegseth said, part of this, and I think Secretary Rubio as well, was, the Iran was building a conventional shield to enable a recovery of its nuclear ambitions. And so obviously, as part of the, end state, without being too kind of linear about it, is to prevent an outcome where they don't have the incentive. And that's where the Venezuela model, I think there's a realistic sense. We have learned the lessons of Iraq and not being overly ambitious.
You understand that comparing Iran to Venezuela is like, I don't know, comparing Kentucky to Venezuela. It's equally valid. Iran.
I don't think it's a perfect analogy, sir, but I think I'm just making a point about in terms of the flexibility of the political objective. And of course, the President has said, it's a fact, it's a historic opportunity for the Iranian people to rise up and overthrow this noxious government.
Right.
But there's
no particular plan for that actually happening.
Well,
it's more of a hope than a plan.
The Department of War has been instructed to focus on the military forces of the Islamic
second piece
Republic.
of this that I want to get into is I think what President Trump meant when he was on the campaign trail saying that we won't go to Iran, go to war with Iran, is the same thing he meant if I was president, the Ukraine war wouldn't have happened. That his mere presence and his policies will stop that. That's the America First agenda. So I guess how did the America First agenda fail in Iran? Because I think the president sincerely meant that. He sincerely meant, you put me in office, I'm going to do things that's going to make sure that we don't go to war with Iran. He failed. We're at war with Iran, and 14 other countries have been dragged into it. So the speech that you laid out was very well said, and if that is what was happening, I'd have some quibbles, but at least we could live with it. But very clearly, that agenda failed in Iran. Why?
I don't think, sir, it failed. I mean, the president has been consistent for many years that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and it's a serious threat.
He's also been consistent that he would not, that war would, look, anyone can come in and blow stuff up. I mean, that option's been on the table, and that's the option we've been taking a long time. And that was sort of the president's argument, was I'm different. I'm so strong that this isn't going to happen on my watch, and he was wrong. It did.
I don't think the president's wrong. I think the president's demonstrated, I mean, in his first term as well, but certainly in his second term, that he is prepared to use the military instrument. That's why he keeps referring to peace through strength. Of course, right, there's the strength element, and it has to be credible. He has, I have a different assessment, sir.
I
do think he's used the peace and the diplomacy abundantly over the last year and a half, right? I mean, all the peace deals, et cetera, spent a lot of time Gaza, for instance, and many of these other conflicts. So I think he very much is prepared, and he was willing to talk to the Islamic Republic. But I think that his determination and others, Mr. Kushner, Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Rubio, is that the...
I want to let some others get in here. That's solid enough answer. But again, there's no question that he failed in the sense that, he said there was going to be no war if he was president. Here we are. I mean, those are just facts. So we need to figure out how we got there. I yield back. Thank you.